Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having all the energy. You had your lunch. You have to attend classes till 3:30 today. 3:30, 5:30.
5:30, ma'am.
So we were doing the present value thing, right? Calculation of present value. That is what we were doing. Now one more from that only we'll be doing one more example. Okay. What is the present value of 1 million, that is 10 lakhs rupees, receivable after 60 years from now if the discount rate is 10%? So what is the formula? You remember the formula?
Yes, present value is equal to future value by 1 plus r whole power n.
Yes, this is what we used. So this can be written as future value divided by 1 plus r to the power n. Okay? So use this. Tell me what is the future value? Yes, what is the future value according to the formula? According to the problem. FV. What is FV? What is FV?
Future value.
I want the amount. I'm asking you for the amount.
10 lakhs.
Yes, this 10 lakhs. Okay, this is the future value. Then what is the R here? What is R? Rate of
10.
interest. Rate of interest that we are going to earn. It is also known as discount rate. This interest rate or discount rate, it means the same thing. So 10%, which is written as 0.1, because 10 divided by 100. Convert into decimals. Okay. Next, what is n? Number of years for which it is uh, discounted for. For how many years is
60.
the investment, or when are you going to receive this 10 lakhs?
After 60 years.
So 60 years is the n. Now applying this formula, find out the present value. Future value take as 1 million. R is 0.1 and N is 60. Do it. Do it and tell me. 1 plus 0.1 to the power 60. What is its value? What is its value? What is this value? You have to tell me.
304.481.
304.481.
48. Yes.
Now find out the present value.
3284.27718.
Just a second. How much you got?
3284.27718.
3284 point.
27718.
I don't know what is the right answer because I have not done the calculation. So others have to confirm whether this is right or not. Who has given me this answer? 3284. Who told me this?
Me, ma'am, Shivani.
Shivani. Okay. Shivani has got 3284. What about others? Serena?
Correct, ma'am. It's the same.
It's same? Okay. Others? Okay. So, 1 million, what you will be receiving after 6 years. If you are discounting it or finding its present value by applying 10% interest rate, its value is just 3284. That is the meaning. Nitish, Yashwant, Praneeth, what about you all? Are you working out? Are you able to understand or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Because
Yes,
I
ma'am.
cannot go ahead if you don't understand, then the following classes will also go above your head. Okay. So now, this was what we have done is a lump sum amount you are depositing now, or a lump sum which you are going to receive in future. One time, only one time you are going to receive it. So it is known as lump sum. One time you are depositing, or one time you are having a cash inflow. Now you have another category of cash flows where you have regular cash flows. That is, regularly you invest. Just I gave example of a recurring deposit where every year you deposit some amount, or you pay insurance also. Every year you pay premium, right? Or you have pensions. Your grandparents may be having pensions. They will be receiving pension. So every month they will be receiving same amount of pension. So regular inflows and outflows will be there, right? They are known as stream of cash flows. Not only we, even business firms also, every year they will be getting cash inflows, and they may make investment one time, but that is cash outflow will be one time, but cash inflow will be many times. As long as the project is going on, as long as the business is in known as cash flow streams, means many cash flows. In that you have, if the cash flows are same for every year without change in the value of the cash flow, we call it as annuity. So you get pension, your parents get pension, or your grandparents are getting pension. Every month they get same amount, right? Every month, say 30,000 is the pension your grandfather is receiving. So every month it is same. It is known as annuity. Or you have opened a recurring deposit. So they are asking you to pay every year. They are asking you to deposit some fixed amount. So every year you are depositing 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000. The value or the size of the cash flow is not changing. It can be inflow or outflow. That is known as annuity. Stream of constant cash flows, either receipts or payments, occurring at regular intervals. Regular interval means yearly once, monthly once, weekly once, 6 months once. Like that, the time gap between two cash flows should be same. Now this year you paid in January, so next year also in January. Then after that also in January. Or you receive every month on first. Pension is received every month on first. So 30 days of gap is there between the cash flow. So regularity of that cash flow is important, and the cash flow must be same. It should not differ from 1 year to another year, from 1 month to another month. Then it is not called annuity. It is known as uneven cash flows. Okay. So we can calculate what is the present value and what is the future value of an annuity cash flow. Now, if the other day I showed you timeline notation. Timeline I showed you. You can have cash flows either in the beginning of the year or at the end of the year. So if you are having cash flow at the beginning, end of the year, normally cash flows will be at the end of the year. If you are having them at the end of the year, it is known as ordinary annuity or deferred annuity. That is normal. But sometimes you will have cash flows at the beginning of the year also. It is known as annuity due. Okay. Like for example, so this is the cash flow that is there at the end of the year. End of first year, end of second year, end of third year, fourth year, and fifth year. Zero means as on today. From today, by the end of first year, you are receiving 10,000. End of second year, you are receiving 10,000, like that. End of the year, you are receiving the cash flows. So it is ordinary cash flows or deferred annuity or ordinary annuity. But if you are receiving the cash flows at the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year means from today we are counting, suppose. So today you have received one cash flow. Next year beginning you receive another cash flow. Next after 2 years again you receive another cash flow. Like that, in the beginning of the year you are receiving cash flows. So last cash flow will be at the beginning of fourth year. Okay. This is known as annuity due. If the cash flows are at the beginning of the year, they are known as annuity due. Got it? So normally in our calculations and normal problems, it is always the deferred annuity or ordinary annuity. That means the assumption is that you are having the cash flow at the end of the year. That is normal. Sometimes they specify that it is annuity due. That means they are receiving the cash at, or there is a cash flow at the beginning of the year. Okay, then you should take it as annuity due. Now, why should we differentiate whether it is end of the year or beginning of the year? Can you think of any reason why we have to differentiate this way? Yes?
So beginning of the year, we want to know what is the opening balance, and end of the year we want to know what is the closing balance.
Okay, right. That is one more reason. And for our time value calculations, now suppose I am having a cash flow of 10,000 in the beginning of the year in zero time period. Zero means as on today. So what is its value? Present value for 10,000 that I received as on today? It will be 10,000 only. Today's value of 10,000 is 10,000 only. Right? Now, what I receive after 1 year, the 10,000, I have to find out what this is the second cash flow I am getting after 1 year. So, what is its present value? Then, third cash flow I am getting in the second year. What is its present value? Fourth cash flow I am getting in third year. What is its present value? Fifth and final cash flow I am getting in the beginning of fourth year. Okay. So, what is its present value? Okay. So we are doing present value calculations of only what I received in the first, second, third, and fourth year. Fifth year, now beginning, I am not receiving anything. So nothing is to calculate. But if you look at the above figure, end of the year cash flows, as on today, I am not receiving anything. After first year, after second year, after third year, so I have to calculate what I received. First cash flow I am receiving after 1 year. Whereas this one, below one, first cash flow I am receiving as on today. Okay. Second cash flow I am receiving in the end of second year, but here I am receiving end of first year. Sorry, beginning of first year. Understood? So like that, end of fourth year. Now this is timeline. This is beginning of fifth year and end of fourth year. By the end of fourth year, that is almost 5 years have elapsed. What going to find out the present value of 5 cash flows. Whereas in the beginning of the year, if it is annuity due, I will find out the present value of only 4 cash flows. That is the meaning. Leaving the last year. You have to leave the last year here. Okay. So that is why when you have a stream of cash flows and whether you have to differentiate or identify whether it is beginning of the year or end of the year. And normally it is end of the year. That is the assumption we make. If they specifically mention that it is annuity due, that means it is beginning of the year cash flow and your present value calculation will be different. So first we will calculate the future value of annuity. This is the formula. Future value of annuity is equal to 1 plus r to the power n minus 1 divided by r. Now FVAF means future value annuity factor. Like I told, 1 plus r to the power n, that was for single amount. Okay. One only for single amount. But when you have regular cash flows, for all the cash flows together, you have a factor. So that factor you have to find out using the formula 1 plus r to the power n minus 1 divided by r. This factor you will use and multiply with the amount whatever for which you have to find out the future value. Okay. So this is the formula. Future value of an annuity factor is equal to 1 plus r to the power n minus 1 whole divided by r. You have to memorize these formulas. Look into this example. At the end of now, what is r, what is n? I hope you remember and you know what is it. Okay, r means the rate at which you are going to invest, and n is number of years for which you are going to get the cash flows. Okay. Now look into the example. At the end of each year for 4 years, current deposits 5,000 rupees into an investment account. If the interest rate on the account is 10% per annum, compounded yearly, determine the value of his investment at the end of 4 years. So Karan is depositing 5,000 end of year for 4 years. So after 1 year, after completion of 1 year,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes,
All the questions are regarded to only compound interest, ma'am.
yes, that is what I told you, no? For
Okay.
in our finance, when we are saying investment, when we are saying future value, when we are saying present value, it is compounding only, not simple, not simple interest. Okay, got it?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So 5,000 is invested by Karan at the end of every year for 4 years, and the rate of interest he is earning is 10% per annum. So they are saying compounded yearly, right? So you have to find out what is the value of the money he is going to have after 4 years. So first year he is investing 4,000. He will earn that for interest on 4,000. In the second year again it is deposited. Again on the principal plus interest he will earn one more interest. Then that is also added back. Like that, adding back the interest to the principal, what is the total value he is going to receive after this 4 years? That is what is the question. That is what it means, the future value. Okay. The same formula you have to use. Okay. So tell me, what is R here?
10%.
R is 10. So in decimals means I will write as 0.10. N is 4 years. Okay. Calculate and tell me. Calculate and tell me what will be its value. Yes. 1 plus 0.1 to the power 4. How much? Or okay, let me divide it this way. Suppose first you calculate what is the value of 1 plus 0.1 to the power 4. What is its value? It will be 1.1 to the power 4. Tell me, how much is this? You have to give me answers. If you keep quiet, how will I continue with the class? I know the answer, but I want the answers from you people.
1.4641.
1.4641. Right? So now we are solving for this term in the numerator. So let us assume this you got as 1.46. Okay? 41. Now we are solving for 1 plus r to the power n minus 1. How much is it? It will be
0.46.
4641. Okay. Now divide it with 0.10, the next step.
4.641.
Divide it with r. 4 point, how much?
641.
Okay. 641. Now this is the present value annuity factor. Okay. Future value annuity factor. 4.61. Now this is, you are going to multiply with whatever is the annual present value you have invested. We have invested. Okay. So value of your investment after 4 years will be the payment multiplied with the annuity factor. So you are paying in 5,000 every year, multiply with the annuity factor what we got. So what is the answer? $5,000 multiplied with the annuity factor 4.641.
23,205.
23,205. Okay. This is the value that we have invested and we have received interest on interest, that is compounded annually. Are you all taking notes? I never asked you people. Do you all take notes? Yashwan, do you take notes? going to prepare for your exams then? Tests and exams? Okay. Is it clear? Is everything clear?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll move ahead if it's clear. So now next what we will do is we will see how if we are compounding monthly, how we can calculate the future value. So if at the end of each month a saver deposits 100 rupees into a savings account that pays 6% compounded monthly, how much would he have at the end of 10 years? So what is happening here? They are saying that it is being compounded every month like that for 10 years. That means here what happened in the previous example, it was compounded annually. So annually whatever is the interest received for 1 year, once they have put back. So on 5,000 first year they have earned 500. So for second year it will be 5,500. Third year whatever is the 550 they will earn, no? So 550 will be added and it will be 6,050. Like that, only yearly once they will add. But here compounded monthly means every month they will calculate interest. So he is depositing 100 at 6%. So first month he will get 6 rupees. So that 6 rupees will be added to 100. Then second month they will use 106 and calculate and add. Third month, like that, every month they will add back the interest and calculate the future interest. Like that they have done for the time period is 10 years they have given. So what happens here? Our N. So here our N will be not 10 years, but 10 into months. Yearly how many months? 12 months. So every year it is every month it is compounded. So yearly 12 times it is compounded. That is the meaning. So for 10 years, every year 12 times means for 10 years it is 120. N will be 120 because it is compounded 120 times. That is the meaning. Right? And one more thing. Now whatever interest 6% is given, no, that is for 1 year per annum interest. Now because we are compounding monthly, we should know what is the interest also for 1 month. So 6% divided by 12, if you do, you will get monthly interest. So that interest you have to divide for monthly, and number of years on N you have to find out for monthly by multiplying. This complication will be there if the compounding is not yearly but something different. The formula will be there. If you understand the logic of the formula, then it won't be a problem. Now what is the formula for annual compounding? See, this is the formula for annual compounding, right? So what I told just now, R, because R is for, now this is annually, annual compounding. Now if you want to find out monthly compounding, what you have to do is, N, what is happening to N? It is number of this is increasing, right? Number of compoundings is increasing. and R you have to find out for monthly. So you have to divide it. So here it is divide by divide by 12, and this n you have to multiply with 12. Yes or no? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
So that we are going to implement here, and because it is monthly we are saying 12 because there are 12 months in a year. If they say weekly, what you will do then? What you will use instead of 12? What will you use?
7.
Weekly. Now this is annual. R is annual, N is 1 year. So weekly means how many weeks are there in a year?
52.
52. Yes. So you will use 52 for R divided by 52, N multiplied with 52. Okay. So here we will narrate that as P. Okay. We call it as P, the time period. So in our case, when you write in a not in a formula this thing, but in a word this thing, if you write, it will be written as this way. Same thing. Some textbooks they don't use fraction form. They simply use by slash and then write. This also R also you have to divide with. So now here if we are using this formula and we are solving for this problem, tell me, first let us solve for the numerator. This thing. Only the numerator. So what I have to take for R? Instead of R, what I have to take? What is R here? Interest rate.
6%, ma'am.
6%. I am writing in decimals. T 12. N. N actually here is 10 years, and because it is monthly, we will multiply it with 12. So now you tell me the value. What is this value? First you divide 0.06 divided by 12 plus 1. What is 0.06 divided by 12?
Zero point 005.
Plus 1, and 10 multiplied with 12 will be 120. Okay. So it will be coming to 1.8194 minus 1. Is it so?
Yes, ma'am.
So it is 0.8194. Okay. Divide now denominator. This is only the numerator part. Next is denominator, that is R divided by P. How much is it? Same thing again. 0.06
0.005.
divided by 12. It will be how much?
I think it was 0.005.
0.005. Now you find out the factor. This whole thing. It is 0.8194 divided by 0.005. It should be is it?
Yeah, 163.88.
Now you can find out what is the this 163.88 is the future value annuity factor that was compounded monthly. Now you have to find out the future value of the deposit, what he was making every month. He was depositing how much? 100 rupees, right? 100 rupees multiply with this annuity factor. It will be 16,388. Got it? Compounding monthly. If you do the same thing compounding annually, you will get a different result. If you want, you can try out and let me know tomorrow or in the next class. But if you people are not responding, it will become very difficult for me to, how shall I continue the class if I'm not getting any response? Other theory subjects, it is okay if you are sitting quiet. It means either you're not following or you're not concentrating. When the class is going on, especially FM, do you have a pen and book with you? Everyone? You should have a pen and book and write and solve, just like you're sitting in a classroom. I will be sharing the notes, but you should be taking the notes when the class is going on. And this is your graduation. You are not in PG also. You are undergraduate, means this is the foundation for your future education, or the basics. You are learning the basics here now. Any doubt till here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Let me take the attendance.